Feel like you, Tone. I'm just about to sneeze. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. All good. I don't need to sneeze. How are you, Tone?
I'm good. I'm good. Man, another week is flying by so fast. It's not easy to like when you're away from like everything for a week, it's so hard to catch up. It's almost impossible.
When we were being at the financial summits, when I was in Bali and when I was in Dubai, it's the only time in my recent history where I haven't looked at my phone at all for like a whole week. I didn't look at my phone. I was just in the moment, and it was just such a wonderful thing. But then getting back to reality after the financial summits where I have to look at my phone again, and I feel like I had completely lost track of the world. I just wanted to stay there forever. It was so hard coming back from the financial summit. It's like it takes me 3 weeks a month to readjust back to reality at that point. I'm just so
Yeah.
I, I don't know. There's something to be said about doing something interesting in your life away from your phone and computers and stuff like that. Anyway, the price is all over the place. Bangbox had a disaster of a trade today, which we'll go into, and the price is bounced up, drop down, bounce up, drop down, meandered. So we'll go into it today.
Hey Matt, you're
I can
speaking in
go, I
slow
can go
motion.
first if you like, man. I'll blow through today. So there isn't.
You're speaking in slow
Am
motion.
I?
Hold on. Your internet's like slowed down to a crawl here. Let's reset. All right, now you
Am
should
I
be
back?
good. Yeah, you're back.
Tomorrow, tomorrow's the 9th, and I'm getting internet tomorrow. I've got the router and that arrived. I don't want to. I'm talking about getting internet like it's a big deal, but I'm getting internet finally tomorrow.
All right, let's get to the charts. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll just really quickly go first because, as I said 2 seconds ago, nothing has changed from yesterday, despite a bit of movement in the charts. Um, am I there, mate? Can you see my charts? It's all good.
Not yet.
That hasn't loaded yet.
There it is.
That took a really long
Loaded.
time to load.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So look, it still looks really good. Like it's a really, really positive response of the massive crash that we had. I'm still in the trade from 52, 200, give or take. Um, it is where it was yesterday. So I'm just going to go into the smaller time frames to really review what it looks like through, intraday, because nothing has changed this week from what I've been saying. Like we have bounced, but we need to get above 60 and whatnot, and we've been held up. So this is the trade that Bangbox put on today. So this is the all it had really frustrating because every time we got up, it just dropped, it dropped, it dropped, it dropped, it dropped. And finally, when we did get in to this trade, it was extraordinarily frustrating because we instantly dropped. I didn't want to see us get into the trade off a massive, not massive, but like a pump. I wanted it to get in good order, like what it looked like it was going to do in these previous attempts. But it's not making excuses. It just is what it is. We entered the trade and it immediately dropped down, and I was staring at my phone for an hour and a half waiting for something to get back. We never ever got back to the entry price, and we called the trade here. It's the point of the bot that you just set it and forget it, take the good with the bad, and it got out, right? And then we just stayed in that zone the entire day until here, where we just went bang up. It was really, really interesting. That happened in like a two. These are 15-minute candles. Within 15 minutes, this whole thing popped, but the whole thing happened in about 5 minutes, just after I got off a call with the black box team. And then we fully came back to retrace it back. So it's just stuck in this zone where I think that people are, you know, the market is uncertain whether we're going up or down. I really, really want to see what happens with the S&P Open today, and and all of the traditional markets, because Bitcoin is in a holding pattern right now. So yeah, Bangbox had a loser today. So I'm sorry for that. But you take the good with the bad, as I was saying. So the 4 hour time frame, as I work my way up, if there's anything here that we can rely on, we did get above the 30 simple moving average here. It does look like we're rounding off really nicely. I like that even though last night dropped, we put in that higher low, that W pattern that I was looking at last night in the show. Now we looked like we were kicking off and we came back and retested the 30. So overall, I like a lot where this stands as it is. I'm not looking for further downside. I'm looking for upside. I just think it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be volatile. In Tone, in one of our groups, in your I think it's a financial summit, like group with Mark Wood and whatnot, all the really good guys there. I mentioned today that I think it was Mark Wood that said like, oh, he wished he got in lower here. Don't quote me, it might have been one of the other lads, I can't recall. And I said I got in at 52. And it's the same thing I said in last night's show. I want this 52 200 trade to be one that I can sit in for a really long time. I don't even care about getting a break even stop on this. I'm not looking, I can take profit right now and take 10K out or whatever like that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in this as just a swing trade. I'm not interested in this as a scalp. I think that anyone who got in down here, I think it's worth the punt that you got in at a really great time. That you should sit in that for a long time. Because if you were lucky enough to get in, it could definitely come back down and get out, and you got out at break even when you could have taken 100% profit if you were 10x leveraged like I am. I don't care about 100% return on this trade. I want to see something more substantial because it's very rare to catch one of these. So that's all I'm thinking right now. I haven't got anything else to say. We've got one more day in the week, and I really want to see how the week ends. Before I hand it back to you, Tone, take advantage of this, guys. We are nearly finished here on this promotion for Blowfin. It's a 15% cash back for deposits. All deposits you have to put into your futures account, and it'll be calculated on the 12th of August. Absolutely great exchange. I met with my team today. We're releasing on Blowfin really, really soon. It looks like a really great exchange. No KYC exchange. It's a really good job. One of the guys, the executives that Tony and I know really well, is in the chat right now. So if you have any questions about this promotion, you just text me. He's there right now. As I come back to you, Tony, please like, subscribe, please share with your friends. And Tony, tell us, what do you think, mate? Are we out of the woods here? I think it's possible we're out of the woods, but I'm not sure. What do you reckon?
Well, I'll let you know after the stream because it's 10 a.m. I'm actually going straight to the stock market. I want to see what the stock market is doing on this 10 a.m. reversal here. So we're on the cash market. There's your monthly chart. Look, according to the monthly charts, the stock market still has room to the downside. It's working on a 1 to 4 candle correction, but the first candle was really, really massive. And it took us down to a decent area of support. But as you can clearly see, there was a stronger area of support with a moving average and the prior swing high in the stock market. And right now we have corrected for only 4.5%, 5% at the low. And there is room for the S&P to correct. I guess if we go from the top, we corrected 10%. And right now we're sitting at 7.5%. But the real support, the real strong support, is sitting at 15, 16% down. And the bottom of the channel, which also has a strong moving average, is sitting at 22% down. Now, if the market falls 22%, we're probably in recession land. But I don't think a recession is coming. So I still think there is a possibility of us falling 16% to reach the prior swing high in the S&P and a nice, I believe that should be a 50-period moving average sitting here. Yeah, that's got to be, I don't think that's the 20. That's got to be, no, that is the 20. Huh, interesting. Yeah, that's the 20, wow. So we're so far above the 20-period moving average, that's crazy on a monthly scale. Let's now go to the weekly chart. The weekly chart is rallying back up, but it's going to be the 5-minute chart that I really, really care about. That's why we're starting with the S&P first. Now, this candle has closed the gap. So that means we can still go down, but it's end of week and we're holding the MRI support line. We're right in the middle of this channel. On a weekly scale, we did pull back to a great area of support, but the really strong area is still sitting here at 4,760, the swing high of December of 2021. That is still a possibility. However, I think that the worst is behind us, but I've said that before, and we fell lower, so you never know. The daily S&P is, yesterday's candle started off really good and then got smacked down, and that hurt Bitcoin a little bit, but not too much. Bitcoin didn't really do as bad as the stock market, and today Bitcoin's back up. So here comes the really interesting part. What is the S&P doing at our 10 a.m.? So the stock market opens on a gap up, pulls back into 950, and reverses on the 950 candle. So now it's 10 a.m. and it's making a high from versus the open. So this is the big challenge, right? When you trade the 10 a.m. reversal, is the 10 a.m. reversal happening in the next 3 minutes? Because it's 10:02 right now. Or did a 10 a.m. reversal happen at like 9:52? I'm going to say the 10 a.m. reversal happened at 9:52 and we're now rallying. Now I can go into Bitcoin. This is why it was important for me to check the S&P first. And now we're going to look at Bitcoin on the 5-minute time frame and see what it did. Well, look at this. Bitcoin rallied at 8:30 on some kind of economic news. Had to, right? The stock market didn't trade at 8:30. Now I got to go to the futures market. These markets are super correlated. You can't look at anything in isolation. I see the 8:30 spike on a 5-minute chart. Now I need to know what the S&P futures did on a 5-minute chart at 8:30. Well, look at that. Something happened at 8:30. What happened at 8:30, right? This is like the investigative process. Now, because I just woke up, so I don't really know what's going on. I'm doing it on live air. Now let's go to the economic calendar and see what the hell happened at 8:30 in the morning. At 8:30 in the morning, we got the job numbers. The job numbers came in. What happened here? The expected was initial claims. So this is how many people are claiming unemployment. And as you can see, we beat it. The last time it was 250,000. It was expected to be 242,000, and it came in at 233,000. So less people are claiming unemployment checks. Now, this could also be because they run out of unemployment money and now they're broke and moving to the streets. So there's a lot in these numbers, right? But the point is,
Just go back and look at it. In a month's time, they'll just readjust it. It's all good.
oh
Don't.
yeah, of course they will, right? But you have to keep in mind that a lot of trading doesn't happen because some person saw this report come out and they bought the stock market. This is
Bots.
happening automatically with bots, okay? And you can't deny the fact that bots purchased, this is on a 15-minute delay, which is why this is kind of happening. You can't deny the fact that bots bought up the S&P and Bitcoin at the same time at exactly 8:30. And if we take this down to the 1-minute chart, you will likely see this happen at exactly 8:30. There it is, the 8:30 candle. If I had lower time frames, if I go to the 1-second chart, you will see this move happen, at like 8:30 and like 2 seconds. It depends how fast your bots are. You're competing with other bots, and then there are bots watching other bots, and when they buy, it buys, right? We'll see the same thing on the S&P. If you do a 1-minute chart and you zoom out, here to see the S&P took a little bit of time here. Let me see. Let's see what we got. It didn't move. Which candle? There it is, the 8:30 candle. See, it was creeping. The S&P was already creeping up. Someone got their hands on the report a couple of minutes early. That happens all the time. Someone has the info, right? It's like buying, boom. Now everybody knows. Anyway, now let's get back to 5-minute scale, but the 5-minute scale is going to be on a delay here, right? Well, here's the 950 candle. It finally showed up. Now we can go to Bitcoin and take a look properly. Bitcoin started to turn at 950, just like the stock market. I don't really care about the MRI on a 5-minute scale, so we're not looking at that. And we're now rallying back up to 57.5. Bitcoin hit a high off of the 830 at 58.5. I'm going to round. But look at the S&P. The S&P is hitting its highs now. Where's my S&P? The S&P just hit a high, and now we're going down at 10.05. I still say this was the reversal. Is this a reversal to make enough money? Well, on a 5-minute scale, you're not going to be able to buy right here. On a 5-minute scale, if you're buying the reversal, you're buying halfway up this candle, realistically. Halfway up this candle to the top of that candle, holy shit, that is 30 points on the S&P. That is more than what I've ever wanted back when I was trading. So you still had plenty of time to make a lot of money. I was just praying for a 10-point move in my favor. This is still a 30-point move, even if you're halfway laid up the candle. And now we're pulling back, but that was a massive move, and the S&P just made a high. What does that mean? Well, what does all that speech means? That speech means that I'm bullish and I'm not selling right now, okay? All of that means that I'm expecting a bullish day from the stock market. I'm still looking at this MRI reversal on the daily. I'm still expecting us to reach the moving averages at approximately 60 to 61,000. I'm liking this candle. It made a new swing high. It's still sitting near the top of that high. The S&P is rallied to a multi-day high today, and Bitcoin pre-ran that high, got a little bit ahead of itself, pulled back a bit. But if the S&P continues to make new highs, I'm expecting the Bitcoin to do the same. Now we can go up the scale. We have a beautiful reversal candle. I don't care if it stays red or if it turns green. We have a green tone base value spike. We are back into this descending channel. And on a weekly scale, we have the downwards trending moving average sitting at 64,000. And we have the next moving average is rising, and we bounced right off of it. The allocation chart, once again, there's no reason for me to I'm concerned that I'm in a negative position, and all my moving averages are declining. They're all below each other. This requires a 0% allocation, but I would rather wait for the dead cat bounce to play out, and also based on the overall cycle and the mining, the fact that miners are not mining a lot of Bitcoin. I am expecting the big move in Bitcoin this quarter. So as long as Bitcoin stays above these lows, there's no reason for me to really get out of my position. I will hang in there until I see some kind of a catastrophe. At the moment, I will throw in the towel on my position if we fall below these two candle lows. We have 9 hours to go. I will set my 54. Basically, depends how this candle closes. The higher this candle closes, the higher I throw in the towel. Still better than panicking at 49, but I will panic at below 55, maybe even below 56. If we're up in the 59 area, I will then go to 100% cash below 56. If we're below 59, I'll go to 100% cash below 55. Okay, so right now I am bullish. And I think we're gonna go higher today. That is it for me. I can glance at gold and oil. Oil is hanging in there. I gotta check if the government's still buying oil. Going into the election, I would be surprised, but it's been happening. Gold is hanging in near all-time highs, and the stock market I have already discussed. Now let's back up. This is a 5-minute chart. I think this is a minor pullback, and one more leg up is coming. I think the worst is over. We should also keep an eye on the other markets like the Japanese stock market. I think that bottomed as well. Look at that beautiful recovery. I think that's going to be okay. And the NASDAQ, of course, is on an MRI top, weekly and monthly. and the Nasdaq is finally recovering as well. Everyone is talking about MicroStrategies having a 10-for-1 split. That is a good sign for MicroStrategy. It's now a $100 stock, not a $1,000 stock. That is good. It will make it a lot easier for people to buy MicroStrategy. Nice buying opportunities this morning. And yeah, I may look at some option opportunities in MicroStrategies if I had time. That's what I would be doing. MicroStrategy has fallen. MicroStrategy made its high back in March as well, and it's down so much more than Bitcoin since that period. MicroStrategy is down 48%
Wow.
since its all-time high. Bitcoin is only down like 10%
20,
or
20%.
20. Let me see. 20. Okay. So when the price of Bitcoin starts to rally to new highs, MicroStrategy will probably double. Bitcoin's only going to go up 20%. Well,
Yeah.
30%, technically.
Good call. Good call.
Something like that. So consider MicroStrategy as your proxy. Bitcoin only needs to go, 25% to get to a new high. MicroStrategy has 50% to go, but MicroStrategy is a leveraged Bitcoin play. Remember how I said, hey, maybe I want to leverage my position? How do I profit from the fact that I've been down? I go leverage Bitcoin. Well, one way to leverage Bitcoin is to hold MicroStrategy instead of Bitcoin. That is a leveraged Bitcoin play. MicroStrategy has a huge beta to Bitcoin, and I'm able to sell as much of my GBTC as I like and re-enter with no tax penalties because it's in a tax-free retirement account. So I can sell all my, well, not GBTC anymore, it's Fidelity. I can sell all that Fidelity and I can just go all in on MicroStrategy instead with them holding Bitcoin. That's an option. And that's a leverage play. I can also diversify it with some miners. We can look and see how the mining ETF is doing. I probably wouldn't pick and choose winners and losers, especially with rumors that my favorite miner, Bitfarms, might get bought out. So if we go to, where was I?
Mining stocks.
Miners, mining
Yeah. Yeah.
stocks. We can look at the mining ETF. Mining ETF made its all-time high more recently in July. It made it this summer. The mining ETF is down 46% as well. It's another option. If Bitcoin takes off, mining stocks could be another leverage play on Bitcoin. CleanSpark is down. Where's Bitfarms? $2. Those are your options. I'd go with the ones that hold the most Bitcoin on the books. Once Bitcoin breaks 70,000, those would be the best ones that are holding the Bitcoin. That not a lot of them still are. All right, guys. That's pretty much it for me. This is definitely a bullish situation here with the stock market. Let's see if there's any economic news happening tomorrow. There is nothing. There's absolutely nothing tomorrow. Next week is the inflation numbers, and next week is going to be very, very interesting. All right. That's it for me. Let's check what the ETFs did yesterday. Maybe some of the numbers have come out. The numbers are not out. That is interesting. These numbers are usually out by now. Some kind of delay. Maybe this website didn't publish them. I may have to look at it myself. But this was just a 2-day window. I'm going to adjust all of it. We now have another ETF from Grayscale. But I will keep updating this spreadsheet every Monday. So on Monday, I'm going to do these updates. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Coming back to you, Matt.
Yeah, that's fantastic, mate. Look, I would diversify into micro-strategies, except I don't see that as diversification at all. If the fact that I'm 99% in Bitcoin, going into micro-strategies makes no sense to me. But anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. Friday tomorrow, believe it or not, and we'll have a look. Thanks for joining.
All right. Bye, guys.